and we want to be very proud of you. Education is very, very, very important. And as you get older, there are many, many opportunities for Hispanic students. Okay? Doing well at high school gets you to college, and there's lots of money and great opportunities out there. We've already been talking about Hudson School at a few universities. So make us proud of you. Okay?
Okay, without further ado, I'm going to introduce Mr. Torres, and again, as Mrs. Levy said, education is very important. A lot of you come from other countries, muchos de ustedes viven en otros países. Your parents left those countries for you to get ahead. Okay? When I first came to this country, I didn't speak English, and there wasn't a bilingual program, and I always say the famous story. I had to sit next to Angelina, who spoke Italian. So I had to speak Italian to Angelina to understand what the teacher was saying. And I always say the famous story, io parlo italiano perfettamente oggi, which means I speak Italian today perfectly. Because what I had to do was I had to communicate with the girl in Italian to be able to talk to my teacher. So today I speak 3 languages. Most of you will get to speak 3 languages. Some of you will get to speak 1 language or 2 languages. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that you go to school, you try your best at all times, you're respectful to your teachers, and you look toward your future. You are going to make yourself into something. Whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a teacher, but it's up to you. You are the one that have your destiny in your hands. And I always tell my sons at home, you know what? Don't blame the school, don't blame teachers, don't blame anyone except yourselves, because everyone has the same opportunity. And you take that opportunity and you do the best that you can. Now it's our pleasure to introduce Mr. Johnny Torres, who's a friend of Hudson School, who has come here before and has some wonderful programs for us. Mr. Torres?
Thank you. Thank you. Very good. How do you feel today? That wasn't so strong. How many of you have your breakfast today? Okay. You're very, very young. You project a lot of energy, but you do not with your present. But you're not projecting the same energy when you answer. How are you today? That's a little better. But you know what? We could do better. We could do better because you are you're very young, very energetic, very talented. Each one of you is a jewel that shines. How do you feel today? That's the idea. You feel wonderful today because you're participating today in a wonderful program. And this program is wonderful because you're in it. You're part of it. This program is wonderful because we're going to be talking about your future. This program is wonderful because you come into a wonderful school with a wonderful staff, a wonderful principal, Miss Aparo. Let's give her a big hand. And this program today is also wonderful because you're surrounded by a group of professionals that went to school that some years ago were sitting exactly where you're sitting today, and they learned. And you know what they're doing? They sharing with you everything they learn. They helping mold your lives. And that is wonderful. Let's give all the teachers a very strong hand. That is wonderful. I represent an organization called Save Latin America. Save Latin America is a civic organization. It functions through 4 commissions. One of them is education. And we're very much interested in education. And we have this commission that meets, that discusses the problems that are related to education in the Hispanic community. And we are very concerned. We're very concerned because 30% of our youngsters are dropping out of high school. They're dropping out of school without a diploma. And you know what? It's sad. And it's also dangerous. It's sad because you're so talented. Our kids are so talented. And it's dangerous because you are our leaders of tomorrow. You may be sitting here today as students, but tomorrow you are going to be leading us. As I glance around the room, I don't see boys and girls. I see doctors, I see lawyers, I see teachers, engineers, architects, scientists, etc., etc. But you know what? You can never reach those levels of professional. You never be that kind of professional unless you do well in school today. That's why we're very much interested in education, and that's why we formed this commission, and this commission in turn designed a program that we call Reaching Our Dreams. How many of you have dreams? Terrific. Very, very good. Now, to have a dream is wonderful, but you have to be very careful not to confuse having a wish with having a dream. See, a wish is a myth. You wish you were a millionaire. You wish you didn't have to come to school. But the reality is different. To have a dream requires that you come to school. To have a dream requires planning, hard work, and requires discipline. And when I say hard work, I mean hard work. You may think, well, I already come to school and I do my homework, Mr. Torres. I work hard already. But you see, life is about hard work. Life is not about fun and games. It's about hard work. Fun and games is something else. It's part of life. But to have good, clean fun and games, you have to discipline yourself. Work hard so then you enjoy the fun. Having fun. We have with us today one of our most active members of our commission. See, our commission is composed of educators. One of them, a very active member that helps us a lot, is here with us today. I want you to receive with a big round of applause that wonderful lady, that wonderful human being, Mrs. Ashby Amar.
Good morning, boys and girls. I think I know most of you here in the building because I do visit here quite often. And it's a pleasure being here. In fact, there's even a couple of kids here that were my students at one time. Hey, you were my student. Weren't you my student when you were my student? Yes. I used to teach science in Roosevelt School for many years. And before that, I was a bilingual teacher. I taught 7th and 8th grade to little kids who are just coming to this country. And I think that was one of the greatest pleasures I ever had when I first started teaching, because I was born here in this country. I was born in Brooklyn, and I was raised in Hoboken. So even though I'm Latino, I was born here, and I always consider myself American since I was a little girl. But being exposed to bilingual students, to students who were limited in English, I really got to get in touch with my background, with my family. I got closer to my family and understand a lot about where my family comes from. My family's from Puerto Rico, and my parents came here when they were about your age. My mother was about a little younger. My mother was 8, my father was 11 when they came from Puerto Rico. And it was very difficult for them because in the schools that they attended, they were the only Latinos in that school. So it was very difficult and challenging compared to you now here, when the majority of us come from a Latino background. But what gives me great pleasure is to be here and speak with you. Because I remember when I was your age, I had a lot of dreams. And one of my dreams was to become a teacher. And I think what made it very comforting for me was that I had excellent teachers who believed in me, just like you have. Because one of the reasons I love visiting the school so much is when I visit the schools and I see the teachers, how they treat you, how they give you so much care and love while they're educating you at the same time. It reminds me of when I was your age. The good feeling I used to get when I would walk into my school or greet my teachers on Monday morning, even though I would have liked to sleep late. And how many of you like to sleep late? All of you, right? You all love to sleep late. Definitely, I do too. But it's such a wonderful feeling to know that you're here in the school with people that care for you. But take advantage of that, because these teachers, they're here for you, and they want you to succeed. Your parents want you to succeed. So now what's your job? To try to succeed, right? And follow your dreams. How many of you know what you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be when you grow up? Excuse me? ¿Qué quiere ser cuando sea grande? Oh, he wants to be a computer engineer. Look how wonderful. And I think you will be a computer engineer. Yo creo que tú sí vas a trabajar de eso. Pero ¿qué tiene que ser para poder ser un ingeniero de computadora? Estudiar mucho, ¿no? Estudiar y aplicarse, ¿no? Y dedicarse. Te felicito. Yes? Oh, you want to be an NBA player. I see you're wearing a t-shirt. And that's also, you know, sports are great. And a lot of you probably want to be sports players. And I think that's a wonderful idea, and I really do believe you should push for it. But remember, to be that sports player, you need to study. You need a good education. Just in case, if you find something else that's going to interest you more. But sports are wonderful because they help you enter good colleges also. But I'm glad I'm here today because not only do I work in the school system, I also work with Johnny Torres and the educational group of Save Latin America. And one of the reasons I joined it was because I wanted to make sure that children like you understand how important it is to be in school, how important it is to have a schedule and follow it, and have a dream and follow it, and help your parents. I had a busy life when I was a child, just like I have now. At your age, I used to wake up at 5:30 in the morning. And why? At 5:30 in the morning, I had baby brother. My parents both worked. I had to get up, bathe my baby brother, dress him, feed him, and take him to the babysitter. That was my job. That was my responsibility. So just like some of you might have responsibilities before you enter school. But I think it made me a better person to know that I was helping my parents and at the same time helping myself. Because I learned to be responsible. And I learned that schooling was so important. I worked since I was 13 in many jobs. The first job I worked in was in a clothing store. I used to sell clothes. I loved it because I used to get discounts on my clothes. I also worked in City Hall. In Hoboken. I worked in City Hall. I used to answer phones. That was a lot of fun. But I think the job that I liked the most was when I was in 10th grade. I was asked, 5 students in my school district were asked to help limited English children learn English. And what I had to do was go to college after school I went to St. Peter's College at the 10th grade and be trained on how to teach children. And then in the afternoons, instead of going to school, I used to go to an elementary school and teach little kids English. And that's when I really knew what my dream was, that I really could follow this dream. And I know you're going to find your dream. Maybe it's something you do right now. Maybe it's something you're doing right now at home or at school that's going to make you wake up and see, this is what I want to be. But I want you to promise me that no matter how difficult it gets, that you will continue your dream. How many of you are going to promise me that? Okay. I'm so glad I came here because I know I'm going to be following you. Because some of you I know since you were about this big, right? And I know that you're going to be successful. Thank you for having me here. And lots of
I was just talking to one of your teachers. I think his name is Garcia, a young man who I understand is a product of the
Oh,
Union
Mr. Garcia?
City. Huh?
Did he step out?
Yeah. He is a product of the Union City school system. So you see, I'm right when I'm saying,
Mr. Garcia's student?
oh, this is a student. Terrific. Let's give him a big hand. Many of you may think, well, I'm a Hispanic. I have brown skin. I come from a poor family, or I come from a single-parent family, or I, just like in the case of this young man over here, what's his name? ¿Cómo se llama? Kenny. Si tú no sabes inglés. Or many of you may say, well, I don't know how to speak English, and therefore there isn't a chance for me. Let me tell you one thing. Your guest speaker today came here when she was your age, and like him, when she went to meetings like this, she didn't know how to speak English. But let me tell you one thing about this young man. Kenny doesn't know how to speak English. But you know what? Kenny is a jewel. Kenny is extremely intelligent with a terrific memory. And when we come back here next year, Kenny is going to be here. And he's going to talk to us in English. Let's give Kenny a big And let me tell you something else. How many Hispanics we have over here? Let me see those hands. Very good. Now let me tell you something. Sometimes you may think I'm a Hispanic, but this is United States of America, and people don't like to hear me speak in Spanish, and therefore I'm afraid to speak my language. Well, the Spanish language was the first foreign language ever to be spoken in this country. And it happened in 1492. In the year 1492, when Juan Ponce de León took possession of this land, and he says, tomo posesión de esta tierra en nombre de los reyes católicos de España. And that's how Spanish has it. The Spanish have a beautiful history of contributions to the growth and development of this country. You should all be very proud to be Hispanic and Hispanic descent. And you should all be very proud to be able to speak Spanish. And you should never be ashamed or afraid to speak Spanish. You have to be prudent though, if there are three people that don't know the language, out of respect and courtesy, you speak the other language, our other language. But you don't have to be afraid of speaking Spanish. And let me tell you why. And unfortunately, this happened. And I'm sure that our guest speaker is going to tell you about this. Because it happened to me when I came here at the age of 14. My classmates used to laugh at me. I didn't know how to speak English. And then they were laughing at me a year later because I spoke English with an accent. Don't ever laugh when somebody doesn't know something. Let me tell you why. I remember once when somebody told a Puerto Rican that he was stupid because he didn't know how to speak English. To that person I said in Spanish, es que él no entiende lo que usted le dice. The man looked at me and says, what are you saying? Que él no entiende lo que usted dice. I don't understand what you're saying. Wait a minute, sir. You just called this man here stupid because he doesn't know how to speak English. Now you don't know how to speak Spanish. What does that make you? Not knowing something doesn't mean that the person is stupid. I don't know how to speak German. That make me stupid? No. You know, you have so much to learn about the realities of life. One of the things that is a real reality of life is that each one of you has it within itself to be whatever it is that you want to be in life, so long that you work hard for it, and so long that you made a commitment in life to be someone. And as young as you are, being what you want to be is not about my school teacher, it's not about mom and pop, it's not about the government, it's not about being poor. It's you. You have to be. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker, Sandra Vasquez, a young lady.
And I expect that from all of you guys. So don't give up. Study, educate. whenever you are stuck in something or whenever you have trouble with homework or private in school and you don't understand, you don't know what to do, I went through all that and I used to go to my teacher or my friends, anybody, and ask them questions. Feel free and comfortable to ask questions. Don't feel embarrassed because you don't know something. It was really hard for me, and especially being the oldest for my brothers and sisters and having, at your age, I used to come home from school at 3:15. I used to run home, cook for my brothers and sisters, clean the house, and do everything because they were younger. I used to take care of my brothers and sisters, my families. I have a mom too, but she used to work for us. I had to do all this and at the same time take care of my homework, and I did all that. But I was determined, and I want to meet somebody, I want to have an education, I want to be like my cousin. She has a really good job, she do this. I want to see her as my role model. So I want you guys to see me as your role model. I want you to think and say, wow, I would love to be like her. I want to be like her when I grow up. But it takes a lot of work. Okay? And don't be discouraged. I remember the first time when I went to my classroom, your age, not knowing any English, walking into the classroom and the kids sitting in front of me because I remember the first time they asked me, what's your name? And I didn't know what to say. I kept looking at the teacher and at the student and they were laughing, they were making fun of me. Do you know how that made me feel? It made me feel really sad. But I didn't give up. I continued. I was very persistent. I was saying, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to be like them. I'm going to learn English. And I want to be able to speak like them. I used to love to hear the sounds of the English, the way it sounds. Yo sé que tú no hablas inglés. ¿Entiendes un poquito lo que digo? Okay. ¿Sabes de qué país soy? ¿De qué país? Santo Domingo. ¿Tú eres dominicano también? Qué bueno. Eres mi amigo también. Y yo espero que tú también hagas lo mismo que yo. Okay? All of you understand what I'm saying? Yes. So, this is good. This is great. Johnny Tars is doing this to motivate. This is a great thing for you guys to know that education is very important. Do you guys have any questions to ask me? Anything? When I graduated from high school,
Didn't you have any friends back then when you didn't know English? Did you have any friends when you didn't know English?
I can't hear it.
Friends when you didn't know
Any
English.
friends that spoke English when I came to this country? Most of my friends, because I was in a bilingual class, spoke Spanish, so I felt comfortable talking to them in Spanish. And that was another problem that I experienced when I went to school at your age. Because most of my friends spoke Spanish, I didn't want to speak English. So it was hard for me to learn English. It took me a longer time than my brothers and sisters because I only spoke Spanish with my friends. So don't do that. English is very important, especially in this country. I mean, I'm not saying that Spanish is not, but you are in this country. So you try to learn the language. It's very important. I went to college. I went to King University in Elizabeth. I have a degree in psychology and a minor in Spanish. I also have an associate's degree from Middlesex County College in social sciences. And I also had the opportunity to went to Spain to study Spanish I work with Arabic people and I was able to pick up a little bit of their language too. So I have a lot of background. Oh, really?
Terrific. Let's give her a big, big. I want to tell you something else. She is single.
Your boyfriend.
And she's looking for a young Hispanic who have graduated college. Very good. That's right. Okay, let's give Miss Vasquez a big hand. Best things always are saved for the last. You were invited here today. You heard Mrs. Amar and you heard Ms. Vasquez. And now we're going to invite you to write an essay. I knew you love it. I knew you love it. That's what I say to let me tell you something. Miss Vasquez told you a couple of interesting things. I wanted to be somebody. And I'm sure that some of you think that you want to be somebody. Truthfully, you are already somebody. You want to develop. That's something else. And you're somebody because you are creatures of God. You are divine creatures, extremely intelligent, extremely creative. But it's what you do with what you have, those things that God gave you, that counts. Miss Vasquez wanted to have a house and a car. And she was clear in one thing. In order to have those things, she had to study. And despite the fact that her classmates was very rude to her because she didn't know how to speak English, she didn't give up. That's the other thing she said that you're going to keep in mind for that essay. And there is something nice about the essay that I'll be telling you in a second. And then she also told you that it takes a lot of work. That's what I told you before. Nobody. We have spoken to more than 18,000 youngsters like yourself in 7 cities and in 55 schools. We have brought in over an essay. You're gonna get the guidelines no more than 250 words, not less than 150 words. You identify the school, yourself, your grade, etc., etc. And then what's going to happen is the school administration is going to select the 10 best essays, and they're going to give them to us. Our committee, comprised of teachers, is going to sit down and select from those 10 essays given to us by your principal. We're going to select the 3 best. And the authors are going to be invited for dinner with their parents, their families, and their teachers in a nice restaurant, and you're going to be presented with an award. Two years ago we came here with this program, and I didn't bring the names with me, but we have 3 people from this school that received the awards. You remember always trying to find excuses to justify our wrongdoings or not doing the thing that we should be doing. Well, when I was a little boy, I wanted to be an interior designer. Be invited for dinner on June 19th, right?
Yeah.
In June 19th, in a nice hotel, the Radisson Hotel, with you parents and you teachers, and I want to see, because I want to remember the faces of the 3 people that I'm going to be invited for dinner. Let me see those hands. Listen, let me tell you, what's your name? Jose? You know, Jose's been kind of quiet. His eyesight was going wild when Miss Vasquez was talking here. But he didn't raise the hand to let me know that he's one of the person that's going to be invited for dinner. However, I have something for you. Miss Vasquez is going to be handling the awards to the 3 winners. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been a wonderful audience. I feel like I am among the sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, because it's such a wonderful audience. And you're such a wonderful, collectively, you have such high talents. And you're so creative. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if years from now, I go to a big meeting and one of you is the speaker, the guest speaker, the presenter. And I would take special pride in seeing you succeed in everything that you want to do in life. God bless you.